And hello everyone, welcome back to the Red October Network. Welcome to June. Glad to see everybody's here. So, I wanted to make a video about investments. Namely, investing in precious metals, such as gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. Now, everybody wonders, well, why would you invest in those products? Well, as you know, there's been a lot of turmoil in the markets as of recently. That's one of the reasons. And, you know, the stock market's been going up and down. And it's been going all over the place. And really, in this type of economic climate, we really don't know what's been going on. And a lot of people feel insecure about their money right now, you know, with the stock market. Because if you remember, we had a significant crash in the stock market in 2008 in the Great Recession. And that caused a lot of people to switch their assets from like a stock to a precious metal. Another reason that people will go and switch to it is because of inflation. Now, if you know basic economics, there's a limited amount of resources in this world that you can pay for, but there is an unlimited amount of money that you can pay or print. So, in recent years, the Federal Reserve has printed trillions of dollars in fiat currencies, which fiat currencies basically mean that they're not backed by anything but debt. And so, if you buy precious metals, there's only a finite amount of precious metals that we have on this earth. And so that has raised the dollar value of all these products and such. So precious metals are really good. Now, how do you get started? Well, first of all, you have to find a reputable dealer. I know a very popular one is APMEX. It's apmex.com. I found them to be really reasonable, and they're pretty much guaranteed that what you buy is actually true gold and silver and precious metals products. Some other people go to pawn shops or local jewelers. A lot of companies have popped up in the past few years that will buy your gold, silver jewelry, and coins. Be careful about them, though. They're pretty reputable most of the time, but be sure that who you're buying is pretty reputable. eBay is good. Be very careful about eBay. Be very careful because some of the stuff that's sold on there is not pure silver, pure gold, especially if it isn't assayed. I'll show you what an assay is in a little bit. So you have to be careful, because if it's not pure silver, you could be buying something really expensive and be gypped on it. So anyways, I wanted to show you some examples of what I suggest investing in. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Here are some of the holdings that I have. And so these are two cards. This is a Pump Suisse 2.5 gram gold bullion. This is a Perth Mint. This is a 5 gram. And I have here two silver 1 ounce bars, which is an ounce is about 25 grams roughly. And so this is an Engelhart ounce. This is a Johnson Matthey. These are two very common. And finally, we have a platinum here. I do not have a palladium, unfortunately, at this point, but this is a 1 gram Credit Suisse platinum ingot. So I have a lot of questions that have popped up about what to invest in first, what makes good investment. So first of all, I'm going to start with the question, where should you start? Well, for example, I think you should start with silver. The reason why silver is my preferable one is because, first of all, it's a very large bar, so it has some mass to it. It's an ounce bar. You very seldom will find them much smaller than an ounce. And so they're relatively cheap too. So an ounce right now on the London Metals Exchange, or the bullion market, this goes for about $27 for this ounce. So these will, and they'll sell on APMEX for about $30. So these are really nice. If you're really paranoid about the market, these are really good because they're really easy to sell if you needed quick cash. And they're pretty, you know, they're pretty big so you don't get lost. So this is a good place to start. And, you know, you can keep one of these on you just in case. I don't know if you believe in anarchy or anarchists or, you know, hyperinflation. You hear about the National Inflation Association. But I always suggest this is a good place to start. You accumulate. You can buy these in 5s and 10s on APMEX, and they're all connected. So that makes a very good investment opportunity there. So this is a good place to start. Obviously, if you really want to invest in solid, you could buy these in 5 and 10 and even 100 ounce bars. But I always suggest, if you want to start a precious metals investment, start with some silver. Now, once you've accumulated some silver, another one will you might want to start investing in gold. Now, gold is a lot more expensive. It costs about, right now it's almost at I would say about a 50 or 60 to 1 ratio per ounce. So basically, here's a 2.5 ounce. Now this is a pump Suisse, and I'll turn on the light real quick so you can see this. And so there's the silver. Now, this comes in an assay. Now what an assay is basically somebody has weighed this, or determined its mass and sealed it. So you know, if this is in an assay, obviously it is marked and you're guaranteed that you know, and it's so denoted, and it's certified assay. So you know that what's in here is 2.5 grams of gold. Now this gold here, this 2.5 is not like a starter edition. This will probably run you about $250 right now, or a little less than that probably, because the gold prices are down. So this is something you might want to keep just in a safe or something like that. So Pump Suisse is one of the premier gold. The other one is Credit Suisse, which I'll talk about the platinum in a little bit. They also sell gold. They do assays for it. Now, if you're really into it, you can buy a 5 gram. This 5 gram is another assay. It's a Perth Mint, which is the other agency that does assays besides Credit Suisse and Pump Suisse. So this is a 5 gram, and this is good if you want to do a pretty serious investment. So 5 grams pretty good. I would suggest making that if you have a birthday present or something like that. You know, your parents, instead of asking for a Wii or an Xbox, ask them to buy one of these, or maybe just the 2.5. I mentioned before that silver was pretty good. This is good if you have like an allowance or something. Instead of spending it on a video game, or buying a savings bond, which is actually against inflation, you're probably losing money on it, buy one of these. Or one of these. If you're a parent, maybe you want to get a 2.5. Because at the very least, this is not going to lose as much value. Obviously, it goes in the opposite direction of the stock market, pretty much, but basically that's a 2.5 and a 5. Now, there is another metal that we have here that APMEX has, and this is a pretty interesting one. This is platinum. Now, platinum costs just about as much as gold does. It's running a little lower. Gold was running about $1,500 an ounce. I unfortunately don't have an ounce here right now, but this is an ounce is pretty big. But platinum is running about $1,400 an ounce. So platinum's another interesting metal because it's used a lot in wire making, and it's a very good metal. And so this is a really interesting alternative to the gold and silver. And so this is a 1 gram Credit Suisse assayed platinum. And so that's just a little bit of flexibility. It's not a real commodity, I guess you could say, because it's not as widely used. But gold has caught up to it. Gold is pretty much the most well-known, most well-known metal. Silver, though, is a very interesting metal. And sorry to get distracted, but Credit Suisse here, this is a good starter thing. This will run you about maybe $80-90, I would say, up to maybe $75 nowadays. So this is a good place to start if you want to invest in that. Obviously, if you buy a 5 or a 10 gram, those bars are pretty big. Not for this video, we're not going to discuss that too much. So the interesting thing is with it is that a good place to start is with silver. Obviously get these. Gold, obviously, I say the 1 ounces are good. Just, you know, you want to be an anarchist and say, oh my god, you know, if the world ends, there's hyperinflation, you have the 1 ounce, because these are kind of hard to get rid of. But basically, and then you can buy platinum. This is just the novelty, I guess you could say, just because I've accumulated enough of this stuff. But basically, yeah, this is a 1 gram, so that's pretty good. And as to what the prices will be, obviously gold is probably the highest right now. I think platinum's been kind of flat. It really hasn't gone anywhere. But silver is really interesting because these make good gifts. And the nice thing is with it is that a lot of it is used in China and such. And so this is really forecast to go up in price. And so that'll be very interesting. So anyways, there's gold, silver, platinum. I'll try to get some palladium next time. This is obviously my home front kind of thing, but very good investments. So anyways, leave your comments. Tell me if I'm right or wrong about any of this stuff. But you know, that's the starter. You know, investing in gold, silver, and platinum for beginners. So cheers out. Leave your comments. Thanks.